Okay, Colin Cowherd and Nick Wright talking top 10 teams in the league in the NFL. It's only March, guys. We haven't even had the draft yet. I don't. Let's see what they got to say. I'm gonna play it and pause it and give my thoughts on this one.
Teams are going through right now where we stand with the top 10. I would put Green Bay at 10. They remain the youngest offense in the NFL and the youngest roster. They overpaid for Aaron Banks at guard, but it was a position of need. And again, when you have a young quarterback, you've got to protect him. Now, Jordan Love did not play well in the last month of the season, and that is a concern. Plus, Chicago's better. Minnesota could be really good. The division is very good offensively. I have Green Bay at 10. Denver's going to improve. Good. How good was Bo Nix as a rookie? Well, how good do you think he's going to be year 2 with Sean Payton? They got Evan Ingram, which Sean Payton calls their joker position, like Debo. He can do multiple things. They spent more money on free agency than any playoff team. And again, Bo Nix, an entire offseason with Sean Payton. So getting Dre Greenlaw and Hufanga, those are big, instinctive, smart guys who will upgrade the defense. Everybody in the AFC West, including the Raiders, that division's getting really good really fast.
Not including the Raiders. The Raiders will be better than. I mean, they're not going to be one of the worst teams in the league, but they're not going to be more than a 5 or 6 win team.
The Commanders, their O-line last year was 10. Now they added Laramie Tunzel, a top 3 pass blocker. Debo Samuel is one of the great moves of free agency, the classic chess piece. So this is a team that could get 4 to 5 starters out of the draft, got 2 absolute starters in free agency. And again, Jaden Daniels as a rookie was amazing. Another offseason to learn Cliff's offense. I have him at 8. Really worry about Kansas City. Joe Thuney is one of the more valuable offensive linemen in the league. Left. And they didn't want him to leave. They couldn't afford him. They don't have a left tackle. They paid a lot for Jalen Moore, who's never been a starter. And there's pass rushers all over that division. By the way, they're not going to go 11-0 in one-score games. Raiders are better. Broncos will be better. The Chargers will be better. Listen, it never lasts forever.
I agree with that to an extent. I just think Kansas City knows how to put teams away in close games. They're very good at it. Now, they're not going to go 11-0. That's not something you can maintain year to year. But they're going to win more than they lose. That's for sure. They'll go maybe 9-2 rather than 11-0. They're good. They're well coached. They're disciplined. They know how to win the game. They know how to finish, which is huge. And when you got teams like, the Raiders who haven't won anything in a long time, and then you got the Chargers and the Broncos, you pretty much have to play flawless football to beat the Chiefs, and that's when they excel. That's when they'll beat you. 1 or 2 teams are going to knock them off this year. They're not going to go 15-1, then 15-2 and lose the meaningless game at the end. I think that they're still going to win the division. Still probably going to go 12-5. Probably compete for the number 1 seed. The division they're in is so much tougher, though. This could be the year they have to win a wild card round. We'll see. I still think they win the division.
I think it's going to be a slight pullback here. I still have them as a playoff team. You're not going 11-0 in one-score games. The division now is simply too good. The Chargers, I think Najee Harris, only player in the league, 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons behind a bad Steeler O-line and a tone-deaf culture offensively. Now he goes to Harbaugh. By the way, Harbaugh's second year with the Niners got to the Super Bowl. So think of what Jim Harbaugh turned around in one off season. The worst defense to statistically a top 2 defense. Now you get another 7-8 draft picks from a coach who just left college football. Najee Harris, Joe Alt, second year as a starting tackle. I think, like Denver, the Chargers make a big jump. I have them at 6.
Their quarterback is still Herbert. He stinks. Okay, I'm sorry. He's not clutch. He doesn't win. He he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He just does, I don't know. He hasn't shown me anything in his career that he could be the guy who can win you the game. He stinks. He comes up short against the good teams. I'm not sold on him. I like everything else they've done. I like everything that Colin just mentioned. Najee Harris, Harbaugh getting 49ers to the Super Bowl. Like I agree with all that. I think Herbert stinks.
I worry about the Lions. I like DJ Reed because their pass defense has been lousy for years. I like that pickup. They lost both coordinators, and they're not going to be as clever without Ben Johnson. They're just not. We saw Philadelphia lose both coordinators a couple years ago, and they plummeted. I also think the whole rah-rah thing, I think it works early as you're building a culture, but now the culture, the rah-rah stuff wears down. Are you as good schematically? Because the NFC's getting better fast. I have the Lions at 5. Listen, they got an extension for Josh Allen. I also think Joey Bosa and receiver Josh Palmer are upgrades. The extension, by the way, is fairly team-friendly to allow for some flexibility. I thought for much of the year last year they were the best team, and I think they've upgraded. I think Joey Bosa is a better version of Von Miller, who was expensive and hurt a lot and became kind of a pass rusher only. I have Buffalo at 4. Ravens.
What do you think Joey Bosa is? What do you think he is? He's the same thing as Von Miller. He's gonna be a pass rusher only. They're gonna limit his snaps. He's gonna play behind AJ Epinesa, who sucks. And Joey Bosa is just a cheaper Von Miller, is how I look at it. I don't think that it's a bad signing. They needed to replace Von Miller. They didn't upgrade. That's for sure. To me, it's a lateral signing. Going from Von Miller to Joey Bosa. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully Joey Bosa comes in and is Joey Bosa from years ago, where he was healthy and he was a force on the defensive line. I don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this is not that it's a disaster signing. It's a 1-year, very minimal contract signing. And then the Bills can move on from him. But they haven't shown in their drafts that they're capable of drafting an elite pass rusher. So, I don't know, man. Joey Bosa and Von Miller, interchangeable as far as I'm concerned. It's the same damn guy. Make sure A.J. Epinesa gets his 50% of the snaps. So fucking stupid how they do the defensive end rotation on this. The defense drives me nuts for the Buffalo Bills. It really does. If you don't pay attention to the Bills, if you're a fan of another team, what they do is they have, like on the defensive end side, they have a rotation where certain guys play running downs, certain guys play passing downs. You can't really get into a flow of a game that way, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm too old school. But the proof is in the pudding. And the proof is that the Bills haven't made it to the Super Bowl. Hasn't won them a Super Bowl. Doesn't get them to the Super Bowl. Doesn't get them past the Chiefs in the playoffs. And it's time to pressure the quarterback against the Chiefs in the playoffs. Pass rush disappears. Just disappears. The Chiefs had their worst offensive line. It's only going to get worse. And their pass rush isn't going to show up against the Chiefs because they don't have a real pass rush. They have a scam pass rush. The Bills are a scam defense. They were exposed last year, and this year, I don't know, unless they draft some really good secondary, I just don't see it getting any better. They also restructured Matt Milano's contract. He's only down to like 1 year left on his contract now, which to me is fine because he's always hurt too. He's great when he's healthy. He's more hurt than he's healthy. I don't know. That's my little Bills rant. I'll continue.
Ravens roster's ranked number 1 by PFF. They got Lonnie Stanley. And again, the number 1 offense last year, I don't see it regressing. This list is not about who's going to win the Super Bowl. It is, how do I value your roster and your team right now based on free agency gains and losses and extensions to your best player? I have the Ravens at 3. I thought the Rams crushed. Puna 4 defensive line, that was an area of need, and Devontae Adams, and retain Matt Stafford. And their defense, Thanksgiving on, was arguably the best in the league. Go ask Sam Darnold, sacked 9 times. So this defense is just getting better every month because they're so young and inexpensive. I put the Rams at 2. Go back to that game in the snow in Philly. They're down to the 15-yard line with a chance to go, with 2 turnovers, with a chance to go in for the win. It's a real team heading in the right direction.
Did he just say that they're the second best team and then used Matt Stafford and Puna Ford as examples why? Okay. Big Puna Ford fan over there, I guess. He's solid. He's not an elite player by any means. There's a reason why he's bounced around the league. Matt Stafford's 110 years old. Okay, they're the second best team because you like Matt Stafford and Puna Ford. Whatever. I'm sure the Eagles are number 1, but we'll hit play anyway.
Listen, they didn't overpay for Milton Williams. They had some free agent losses, but they have drafted so well. Philadelphia's number 1. They are smart enough to know who to pay for and who to let go. And I thought all their moves made sense to me. Zach Bond, bringing him back to linebacker, surprised me a little at that price point. But again, I'm going to give Philadelphia the benefit here. It remains the deepest roster with the most dexterity. And with that, Nick Wright is joining us. Probably not in the greatest mood right now, as I have the Chargers at 7.
No, you have the Chiefs at 7.
Chiefs
you have
at
the
7.
Chargers at 6. So Najee Harris worth 7 wins. That's cool. That's sober-minded analysis by America's honesty broker. So let's talk about this for a moment, because you elevated the Bills because you like the Joey Bosa addition so much. If only one could tell what team he left. So Joey Bosa makes the Bills better by going there. The Chargers lose him. They improve. The Chargers, by the way, whose quarterback is tied for, let me do all the math, dead last in NFL history in playoff wins, and the Chiefs quarterback who's second only to Brady in playoff wins, the Chargers who haven't won the division in a decade, and last year, again, won 11 games. The Chiefs won 17 games, and this is the year, this is an annual tradition where you pick a new team to win the AFC West, and then midway through the year, you're like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. Also, and I hate to do this to you because you know how much I love you, but you said the Chiefs didn't want to lose Joe Thuney. Well, was there a gun to Brett Veach's head when he called the Bears and traded him? They didn't lose Joe Thuney. They traded Joe Thuney. So I just got to say, the rest of your bracket feels a lot like we are respecting the teams that were really good last year, except for, of course, the Chiefs, which just makes no sense. And then I'll just ask you this question and we move on. What did the Ravens and Bills do to, forget the Chargers, which is just nonsense, but it's the L.A. Warren Sierra, I guess, do to get better?
Well,
how did the Ravens and the Bills close the gap?
Because the Chiefs got noticeably worse at left tackle, at offensive. Well, they're getting old.
They got worse at left tackle by signing a player? But they're the only team in the league. They had 4 guys there last year. Yeah. They sign a player, and now they got worse at that position.
Yes.
They're also, according to your analysis, the only team in the league that's not going to participate in the draft, I guess. Every other team, they got these draft picks. They're going to improve in the draft.
Well,
the Chiefs have the Titans' third-round pick, which is like a second-round pick. But go ahead. Tell me more.
Yeah. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. As I'm looking at this list, let me blow this up so I can make this a little bigger. Swap the 2 and the 7. That's what I would do right now. I would swap the Chiefs and the Rams. I would move the Commanders up to 6. Move the Chargers down to... I'd probably move the Chargers down to 8. Yeah, swap the Commanders and the Chargers. Swap the Chiefs and the Rams. That's where I would have this. I'm not one of these guys who's going to go against the Chiefs. They just win it every year. They're good. Why would I do that? I don't know. That's my thoughts. I would go 1 Eagles. I like that. 2 Chiefs. 3 Ravens. 4 Bills. Actually, you know what? Swap the Ravens and the Bills. Give me Allen over Lamar. Yeah, swap the Ravens over the Bills. It's not. That's like apples and oranges. Whatever. 3 and 4. Either one of them is going to be the team that faces the Chiefs and loses. Yeah, Lions at 5. I like that. Yeah, I would put Commanders at 6. Rams at 7. Chargers, Broncos, Packers. Maybe I would even swap the Chargers and Broncos, but that's splitting hairs at this point. That's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.